Hey everyone, welcome to the Fountain of Youth with Andy. And we had a little short break of 2 weeks, with life getting busy, but this is something that we are so passionate about sharing LifeWave products with everyone out there. And I'm Andy, I'm a functional nutrition longevity coach. And joining me is my two beautiful co hosts. I got Erin Lay and I got Margie. Why don't you introduce yourself, ladies?
Okay. Margie, do you want to go first?
You could.
All right. So I'm Erin Lay. I've been a global leading life coach and business strategist for over 30 years, and I absolutely love it. I love helping people transform their mindset, transform their lives, transform their businesses, mind, body, spirit connection. And I'm so happy to be here to talk about what we're going to talk about today, to really give my clients just at the edge physically and mentally, with what these patches do. And we'll get into it. But I absolutely love what I do. I feel like I'm here to raise the consciousness of the people in this world. And it's a blessing that I get to do that one leader at a time. But today we're going to get into the LifeWave patches and how it helps us to be the best that we can possibly be. And that's what life is all about.
Okay.
And Margie.
Hi, I'm Margie Schwarting, and I was introduced to LifeWave by my best friend Erin there. And I tell you, I've been using it for an entire year, and I talk about it to everybody every day because I think I know everybody needs these patches. There's many patches, X39 being the one that you should use every single day, is repairing our inside so that we could be young again on the inside and probably have a longer, healthier life. And that's what I look forward to. I'm 55 now. And when I'm 80, I don't want to be stuck in a room with an oxygen tank and wondering if I'm going to live. I want to still be active. I want to still be at the gym at 80. So I recommend these patches to everybody because it seems with testimonials and with my own results, Erin's results, Andy's results, we are getting healthier every day as we're aging because of these patches. Yeah. And we will talk more about one in particular today. And hopefully you will join us on our team and start patching and helping your life improve like ours are.
Thank you so much, Margie. So today, we want to share, and this tells you how prepared I am. I hope you ladies have the carnosine patch in front of you. But we want to share the carnosine patch, but more specifically, the benefits of carnosine, because a lot of people, they hear, well, what's this whole carnosine about? And first of all, carnosine is something that you can get from your foods, right? But for the three of us, I know we're getting it because it's only in meat products. It's not in plant products. So right away, if you do not eat meat and you're vegetarian or vegan, you're not going to get carnosine. So that is something that you're going to have to supplement in if you're vegan or vegetarian, right? But if you are a meat eater like all of us here, I like my steak, it's highest in red meat. But, carnosine, it is so powerful, it is really good for your brain, your heart health, and for muscle repair, right? And there are studies that carnosine can help with Alzheimer's. There's some studies showing that it can slow down or even break the amyloid plaque that they talk about in Alzheimer's, right? So the more carnosine you have in there, it can actually start repairing your brain, which is very exciting because so many people nowadays are getting Alzheimer's or dementia, and we want to boost the brain health, right? There's a lot of studies showing that it helps with the heart. And this is an interesting topic, the heart. A lot of people think that heart disease is caused by cholesterol. This is not a topic I'm going to be talking about, but it's not caused by cholesterol. it is caused, excuse me, it is caused by sugar buildup
Sugar
in
buildup.
your arteries, right? And what carnosine does is it inhibits the sugar from building up in your arteries, and that's how it helps your heart, which is really, really powerful because it's basically keeping your heart from getting clots, and I think that's important. And it also charges the mitochondria for your heart, and your heart is the largest muscle in your body, and the mitochondria is the power cells, it's the batteries of the cells, and it charges it, right? So it's making your heart nice and strong, right? And like I said, the other benefits is reduces oxidation. It reduces your CRP, which is the inflammation. When you go for a blood test and they say, hey, what's inflammation marker? The CRP, and that's the inflammation for your heart. It actually reduces inflammation. It will lower that CRP number. So this is such an amazing product. And like I said, normally you can get it from your foods, but we're not probably getting enough of it. So if you can elevate it more naturally through the LifeWave patches, and I know Margie, the educator among us, she's going to go into a little bit more about that. But one last thing I want to share about carnosine before I hand it off to these two ladies is there are studies showing that the more carnosine you have in your body, the more you stay in that state of age. So basically, your age actually stops and you stay strong in that age, the more carnosine you have in your body. So we definitely want more carnosine in our body, and it keeps you stronger for longer, right? So, a lot of people, as they're getting older, they get weaker. Well, if you keep your carnosine up, you stay strong even when you get old. And that is just amazing. It's sort of like what Margie says, we want to be not only slowing down aging, we're actually reverse aging, not only on the inside, but look at these ladies. They look so amazing. Like,
Oh, you're so
Margie
sweet.
5 and Aaron, Aaron is 2 years older than us, but you would not be able to tell. Like, these ladies, they're such darlings, such dear friends of mine.
Oh, thank you. One thing I wanted to say that I learned about it, well, there's two really good things I wanted to talk about is what it does for our skin, but mostly what it does for your brain. So when I was 18, a senior in high school, I fractured my skull and I had so many grand mal seizures, I went into a coma, and I actually lost my short-term memory from that. My brain really doesn't work as well. Like I really have to, like I'm book smart because I really have to study and read and take notes for it to get into my long-term memory because that part of my head was damaged. And I didn't start these patches yet, but I'm definitely going to start it because there was a study that shows reverse aging after 30 days of carnosine. How do you say this again? Carnosine. I want to say carnosine exposure. It reverses cognitive decline, which dementia and Alzheimer's runs in my family. And I'm so nervous because of my injury that I had with my head that I'm going to get it. So it's proven to speed up brain processing so long and short-term memory could come back. It actually protects the brain. And especially if you use it together with X39. And this is a patch that you don't need every day. And, of course, all these cost money, but this is like one of the ones that will last you the longest and go further with your money because like one sleeve lasts a month, but technically you could probably get 2.5 to 3 months out of it because you're not using it every day. And I also learned about that these patches, there's different spots on our body that we put these patches because it's like an acupressure point. And there's several spots for this carnosine to go and carnosine. You're supposed to like switch it each time you use it. Is that correct? I just want to teach everybody because I'm learning too. And I want to teach you to do it the proper way. But I know for cognitive development, I'm definitely going to use that to improve that part. And Erin right now is using it for her heart. So the benefits of using it for your heart, maybe Erin could tell us now.
Yes. Yeah, I would love to. First of all, I tapped into holistic, instead of big pharma and typical medicine, the holistic side of medicine in 1991 with a cancer diagnosis. So I love meditation and visualization, affirmations, just all these things that we could do holistically. There's a whole other way to treat the mind and body that where you don't need medicine. So I was treated, my brain was treated prophylactically with methotrexate through an Amaya reservoir to the brain. So they would take out cerebral spinal fluid and put the chemo into the brain to treat it prophylactically for 2.5 years, in addition to all the other chemo for the body. And that was from 91 to 93. I wish that these patches were around back then, because the health benefits of these patches are extraordinary. Now, they called me the miracle maker for what I was doing back then holistically, and people weren't talking about what I was doing. That, they thought you were crazy if you spoke about holistic kind of medicine in the early 90s. But if I had these patches and the carnosine in particular with the X39, I mean, I was unstoppable with what I was doing, but this just would have saved so much of the suffering, that you go through when you're going through chemo treatments and even thereafter. So now forward fast, I ended up getting, we're not allowed to say it, back during COVID. And so that put me into congestive heart failure. So now I'm on the hero's journey number 2, regarding health and wellness. So I go to a holistic doctor because the medicines were not working for me anymore. I was not that they weren't working for me. They were just having a negative effect. I was getting dizzy because I was taking these different meds for the heart. And a friend of mine, Michelle, is the one who put the X39 patch on the back of my neck when I couldn't even walk through a lounge when I was supposed to speak on stage in a couple of days with Michelle. And within 45 minutes, I had clarity. Like I could not walk without holding on to things. I was so off balance. And within 45 minutes, I had clarity where I didn't have to hold on to things. And then I started with the X39. No, I started with the Eon and carnosine and the X49 after that. And I am shocked at the health benefits. I go to a holistic doctor, Dr. Lenny Izzo, who I absolutely love here on the island, where he treats me with frequency and vibration and these different things and supplements for the heart. And he wears the patches. He wears the LifeWave patches. And he's been doing this since 1980. He trained in Russia and Ukraine, and he's got partners in the Czech Republic. And when I started with him just 2 months ago, I asked him about the LifeWave patches, because I love these things. And he said he wears them and he gives it to his clients, to his patients. And he said, do not stop. The man is 75 years old and he still wears the patches. And I watch him jog across the street out of his office, 75 years old. He's literally jogging across the street. Oh my God, he's in amazing, amazing shape. So I'm going on 60. I'm 59 years old, going on 60. I feel better now than I did in my 30s. And I've been on, it's technology. It's crystals that work with the body. So these patches support the body to do what the body's designed to do, and that's heal itself. And the carnosine, what I love about the carnosine is I wear the X39 and the X49, to help not just put Band-Aids on the heart and, medically get it to work well because of the medicine. It's regenerating the heart, like just healthier than it's ever been. And the carnosine, I just add to it every couple of days for that boost, with regard to the heart health. And I mean, like I said, I wish I love David Schmidt and I can't wait to give him a hug and shake his hand, but if this was around back when I was getting chemo back in the early 90s, and it was just a crazy 2.5-year protocol, and the doses I was getting were beyond North Shore's legal limits, the local cancer hospital back then. But these patches, they help with everything, anxiety, depression, anxiety, nausea, bloating, like everything, in addition to healing the body of anything. You could put in a search bar of anything having to do with LifeWave and any illness, anything. And you'll see so many testimonials. This product has been around for over 20 years. The gentleman who founded it has over 100 patents. He's genius at what he does. And it was started for the Navy SEALs. And then we were fortunate enough, thank God, fortunate enough that it came to us. you know, and I feel so good. Like I look at you guys, Margie and Andy, and the three of us are like, everybody has to know about this. Like everybody, all my friends, my clients are like, okay, Erin, all right. Like, you know, like, because I want everybody to be wearing these patches. It's like, how do you lose? You can't lose when you're supporting the body to heal itself. You know, when you're giving it and it works with the, like Margie said, it works with the acupuncture points. So the crystals, each of the different patches have a different layout in the patch that give off a frequency for the body. So it basically mirrors the body and gives, you know, works with the light in the body. That's like, light yourself up for healing, you know? But yeah, so I mean, I feel great. My numbers with regard to the holistic doctor, and he measures everything on the quantum level and then it's on the cellular level as well. So everything, for anybody that doesn't, I didn't even understand this until he started explaining it. It has to, when your body starts to heal at the quantum level, emotionally and all that kind of stuff on the quantum level, that really, then that, once that heals, then the tissues, when the issues are in the tissues, right, cellularly at the mitochondrial level, the body will start to heal itself there, but that's sustainable. Putting band-aids on it with medicine and everything else is not sustainable, because what's going to happen if you stop the meds? You're back to square one, if not worse. Where this kind of support for the body, this kind of technology literally works at the quantum level. And then at the cellular level, and like I said, it's the stickability, you know, this is, it's sustainable, and it's just a blessing. So my numbers have improved, like in every way. The ejection fraction's going up, which is the right direction, and I feel amazing, absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see Margie at the gym.
I'm so happy.
Me too. I'm so happy for all of us.
So, yeah, Erin was, oh, do you want to go? It's your turn.
Go ahead, Margie. Go for it.
How Erin was saying, you know, how it works, that these little patches they look like a Band-Aid kind of, you know, in a circle. Kids in school, when I sub, they're like, oh, you have a boo-boo. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's my LifeWave patch, but I can't explain it to them. But it works with our body heat that reflects on these nanocrystals. And when it comes to this carnosine, I still have to learn how to say it. What could it do for your skin? Like Andy was saying, it works to attract and distract harmful sugars and free radicals in your skin, meaning your skin now will be free to continue its natural process and regeneration without so many interruptions in your body by using this patch, because this is what's going on inside and you don't see it happen. So what happens when you use it, it actually boosts the firmness by fighting the gravity's effect on our skin, which, you know, gravity brings everything down to, you know, I got it here. I'm hoping maybe in a few months this will be gone, and when I start using it.
That's right.
That's because it also boosts elasticity, which free radicals and like oxidative stress could undo all of this on us as we are aging as adults. And it also acts as an antioxidant to slow down the process that is breaking down all the key proteins in our skin. And that's something that's very important to me at age 55. So I didn't know that this patch was for this. I knew it was for your heart, that it's help repairing. I know it's for your brain, but it was nice to know that it could work for your skin as well. But it's also very good for athletes. I think this is a very important one. Yes. Because of the lactic acid buildup, and it helps reduce the lactic acid that's in, and so the recovery is much better. And when you're working out a lot, the lactic acid builds up, and that's what hurts. And you're like, get better, you know. Instead of smacking it, use this patch, and it, you know, will reduce it for you, and maybe you won't be as in much pain. Is that right? Andy knows much more about this than I do. I am just learning.
Exactly right. You literally took that thought and plucked it right out of my head, you know, because Erin was talking about see you at the gym. And, you know, I am a functional nutrition coach, but, you know, I am certified as a CPT, like a personal trainer also. And it's always amusing to me because when I got my certification, oh my God, it's like 15, 20 years ago now. they always say, if it's not hurting after the workout, you didn't work out hard enough. And now I call BS on that, right? Because basically it is all the lactic acid that gets built up after a workout that's causing all this soreness. And now it's like I'm working out with my clients and I have no pain after, right? And that's where the carnosine comes in. And the beauty of what Aaron was talking about, the X49 has that same ability. It does help you recover faster and, you know, boost the ability of your heart to work a little harder, but giving you the extra energy. But more importantly, like you said, now you can work harder because your heart is stronger and you don't have the pain afterwards, which is so important. So, like, you know, I know we always talk about LifeWave products for people that are older, but this can benefit your kids if they're in sports. This is literally going to be like, there's no worries about drug testing because there's no drugs, there's no chemicals. We're working off the frequencies of our body. We are just elevating what our bodies can do to the next nth level. And if your kid is competing in sports, this is going to be the extra level that you're going to give them over everyone else. Until at least every other kid is using it, right? You know, but until then, it's sort of like what Aaron said. This was designed for the Navy SEALs, right? Originally for the Navy SEALs. And then we see it in the Olympians. We saw it on, you know, Michael Phelps in the swimming team. He won, what, 8 medals? Maybe there was a reason why he won all these medals is because he's getting his body the proper support to be at max level athlete, right? You know, when you're competing as Olympians, it's that 1/10, you know, 1/100th of a second that makes you win the medals. And if this is what's giving you the extra edge, I tell you, it's not only for us to feel amazing, to feel 20, 30 years younger, but it's also for the young athletes that is going to help them perform at another level.
I love it.
Yeah, they did say that it can potentially, well, David Schmidt actually said in an interview about the carnosine patch, it could potentially delay the onset of muscle fatigue and improve exercise performance, as well as muscle health. I was reading a testimonial about this woman in her 40s who wanted to build up muscle, and she had a personal trainer. And when she started using this patch, she saw that she was progressing even quicker, and her muscle mass was getting better, and her energy level was getting better. So these are things I love hearing, and I just can't wait to use this because I'm already doing 2 and 3 classes a day at the gym, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go more.
That is so amazing. And, you know, just to I don't want to say clarify, but basically the carnosine is what we like to call a booster patch, right? You know, we always encourage everyone to start with the X39. X39 is basically the granddaddy of what is going to power your body. It's going to have faster repair. You know, it's the one that's going to help you get the stem cells. And the carnosine is just going to elevate everything up even higher, right? So like what Margie says is really true. You know, all the LifeWave products, they come in a 30-day supply, but next to the X39 that you'll be wearing every day, because none of us want to be getting older. We want to be getting younger, right? That doesn't make sense that you want to be getting older each day, right? But depending on which of these other patches that we're using, it'll give us that extra ability. Do you want to support the heart? You know, do you want to support the brain? Everyone is about individual, in which case, you know, they're going to have something different. So, you know, for all our clients out there that's worried about Alzheimer's, that's worried about Parkinson's, that's worried about all these brain conditions, this will be a great patch to support to go along with the X39 because, like I said, there's so much studies showing that the carnosine can help with brain health. And one last thing I wanted to share on the carnosine is carnosine has also been shown to improve eye health too.
Yes.
So for all of you that have dry eye or starting to get more nearsightedness, what I tell people to do is they just put it over the eye that you have problems of when you go to sleep. And I swear you wake up in the morning and it's almost like the eyes refresh. I don't know what it is, you know, the upload of the carnosine, it just really helps with eye health. So like what Margie says, it helps in so many ways throughout the body.
Can I share one thing about that before we wrap up?
course.
Yes.
About the eye health, because they were watching me for cataracts, right? Because
Yes.
a year and a half ago, I went to the eye doctor and I said, okay, why is dark darker? Like, I don't understand, like, why dark got darker. Like, how is that a thing? And they, examined me and everything, and they did whatever they do. And they said, you have the beginning stages of cataracts.
Mhm.
So there's like a sweet spot where you can't have the surgery until it gets a little worse, and you don't let it get too bad. But thank God I was being watched, because it wasn't bad enough to do the surgery, because
Mhm.
I did start putting the patches, like above the eye and stuff like that. And now dark is not as dark as it was.
Oh,
That's
good.
amazing, right?
Good. That's what we want to hear.
When my light went out on my porch, so I'll hold on to the side of the house and go down the steps, when it dark was darker. And I just noticed that the other night when I went outside, and I was like, I could just run down the 2 steps. I could actually see, because I still haven't replaced the light that needs to go in the porch light. But so I noticed that it's starting to work, which is very, 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 very promising, very cool.
So exciting, right? You know, thing like these are all things that are associated with getting old. Doctors can say that's normal, right? You're getting old. Were you expecting perfect vision for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
that's a lie.
Yeah.
That's something that they don't understand.
And we age backwards with these patches.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not like age halting, like it's not like, oh, you're not going to age any longer, or age defying, as they call it. It's literally working with your body, especially with the stem cells, with the X39, where it's activating the stem cells, and then the stem cells are literally going and becoming heart cells if the heart needs work, or nerve cells if it needs, with the nerves and the brain and whichever part of the body, liver cells, like, it's amazing. So it's healing the body, and you're physically aging backwards. And when you said about the skin, Margie, like I feel my face is tighter. I have heavy Irish eyes, right? The eyelids, I have the heavy Irish eyes. It's not like I have a lot of lid kind of thing. And I even notice a difference with that.
Oh, that's great.
It's so
I'm going to start that. I'll let you know if it works for me. Get rid of all this.
It's so fun.
But did you know that David Schmidt, the CEO, founder, inventor of LifeWave, is very interested in something called telomeres, which I've never heard of, but apparently lobsters have them. And lobsters could go to 100 years old. Lobsters are old, and because their telomeres don't disappear, they stay there intact, and that's the longevity of their life, makes to be 100. And this carnosine patch actually elevates our telomeres that are in our body. So right there is proof that this is a genius idea of lobsters are living. I mean, I don't know if I want to live to 100, but
I do. Fully functional. You and I will play pickleball.
Easy, Margie.
Yeah,
100
sure.
You want to live to 100 if you're in pain and suffering.
I'll still be at the gym at 100.
That's right.
My telomeres will still be working because of these patches.
That's right. It's so good. And the telomeres are like, it looks like a shoelace at the top of the cell, and as the shoelace looking thing, the telomere gets smaller and smaller than the longevity, like your life, right? It's a dictator of like how long you're going to live, kind of a thing. So the fact that this could actually stimulate and elongate the telomeres and make them healthier is adding years to your life. And Margie and Andy, like, we're going to, like, our goal is to live beyond 100, but with excellent quality of life, in excellent shape. We're going to be going to dinners and doing our pickleball, and helping everybody on the planet with however we can, and with grace and ease, without the suffering. There's no need for the suffering. And a lot of the stuff that in the traditional medicine and stuff like that they don't talk about, is there is alternatives to that, and the side effects. It doesn't mean like there's nothing else we could do for you. Okay, then you find somebody that can help you. Just because somebody in the medical community feels that there's nothing else that they can do. And I love my doctors, but there is a holistic, there's a whole other side. It's called health and wellness, as opposed to the sick model. It's instead of sick and treating the sick and all sorts of side effects, there is another whole different model, the holistic model, which is health and wellness. And that's what we're talking about. And that's what Andy is, a longevity and functional nutrition coach. Like, he teaches you about that coaches you on longevity and functional nutrition and everything that we're on this call to talk about, you know. And Margie, you're the educator through and through. And Margie's an elementary school teacher. You know, she's got her master's in education and loves educating people on this planet about how they can live their best lives. And that's what I do as a
Tell Andy how we look at each other when people say, no, I don't want to use it for this reason, that reason. And we look at each other and we're like, okay, Erin and I will come visit you every day when you're in the hospital or when you're homebound. And we'll let you know how our luncheon was.
We actually get sad. We're like, really? You're not going to try it? Like, it's like, why wouldn't you try it? There's a 30-day money back guarantee. Like, why wouldn't somebody try it? You know why? It's the programming. And this is what I do as a coach. I help people undo the programming in their subconscious mind. One of my favorite things to do, because there's so many from birth to 8. There's so much garbage that is no longer serving you that you took on as a child. Not good enough, not worthy, can't do it. You know, I'm lazy. Like all these stories that you're telling yourself that are holding you back from doing something like this that can change your life. Like Margie said, like, we're like, why would you choose to not do something, not give it a shot? Carol, my cousin, was on the call last night, Andy, with a testimonial with, she signed up for LifeWave, and her rheumatoid arthritis that she's had since she was 12. She's now in her 60s, and it was the first time it rained and she didn't have pain. Wow. Like, it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Like, why wouldn't you? Like, why wouldn't it's just Margie, like you said, Margie, like we look at each other like, really? Like,
but then again, like a lot of people are worried, well, I'm on all this medicine. Will it interact? No. It's holistic. You know, oh, what would my doctor say? Well, your doctor doesn't think holistically. They're thinking, pharmaceutical companies paying me to give you this medicine.
Right. And
then when you have something happens with that one, I give you another medicine.
And it's the elder generation that are brainwashed, you know, that have to listen to the doctors, and the doctors know everything. And if the doctor doesn't know about it and doesn't agree with it, then they can't do it. And that's a shame. That's why a lot of the news at night, like any news, I don't care what channel, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, when you put on the news at night, because the elderly are usually the ones watching the news, it's all big pharma ads, all big pharma ads. And it's brainwashing, you know, which is such a shame. But this is an alternative, and why not? Why
not? Erin, what does it say on the bottom of all these ads? Could kill you. Could kill you in 5,000 different ways from sunlight. LifeWave patches works with your natural body heat, non-transdermal. Okay, why not give it a shot?
Exactly. Exactly. And it detoxes the body. There's so many beautiful things
that stem cells.
Helps you live, with vitality. You know, instead of being exhausted or anxious and all these other things, like that's why it's called health and wellness as opposed to the sick model. You know, So Margie, Andy, and I are on fire, like just to empower everybody and let everybody know about these patches. And then it's up to you guys watching and listening to this. You know, if you want to stay where you're at, you know, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You know, and if you're healthy now, you're doing everything that you need to do to stay that way. And hopefully, hopefully that's the case. But if you have, like most people on the planet these days, because I say this all the time, everything that they're doing to us with the air, the food, the soil, everything, there's a lot of different illnesses with inflammation and all these different things. If there's something that costs like a cup of coffee a day, that's all these LifeWave patches cost, like a cup of coffee a day. Only you're investing in yourself, which is the best possible investment that you can make. Think about it. Just think about it.
Yes.
And then
you need to exercise and eat right along with the patches.
Yes.
And just know, Erin and I are talking about you behind your back. Oh my goodness. Why don't you put my patches?
No, we're not.
Why? No, we love everybody.
No. The only thing we would say is, that we send them love and compassion all the time, and hopefully they change their minds and they do what we know it works, And if you find that it doesn't work for you, which I yet to find somebody that has told me that I've told them about, and they're doing it. Everybody that I've shared this with, that bought it, Margie, you, Carol, that I just told you about, that was on the call yesterday. Everybody's saying the same thing. Like, oh my God, my blood tests, this went away, that improved, this improved, you can't put a price on that. You can't. And it's not something that's not doable. It's not just for the elite, it's for everybody, it's for everybody. So check it out. Take it away, Andy.
I love it. You ladies are so inspirational. And it is true, Erin. It's like for all these people that's relying on everything else. And, one of the lines I like to use is, how's that working for you? Because if it's not working, it's time to try something different, right? Do you really want to be in pain and suffering all the time because your doctors tells you that's normal?
Yeah.
Right. And it is normal for what they're used to seeing because they don't have a solution for you, right? They don't know that your body can elevate with the proper support. And, what we're sharing here is technology. This is new technology that is using your own body's light and energy to support and repair itself. It's something that's so amazing, so magical and beautiful when the body's working the way it's designed to do, the way God designed it for us. And, we just want everyone that was just watching this episode, we'll be sharing something new every week, but reach out to us. We got all our contact information out there, right? My contact there. We got our LifeWave. If you want to order the product to try, scan the QR code. We love to hear from you. And if there's any questions at all on the health aspect, let me know. I would love to help any which way you can. But this is really about us sharing LifeWave on why we think everyone should be on it. This is something that is like we need to breathe air. We need to drink water. We need to be on LifeWave. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, everyone, for watching, our episode. And we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
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 Thank you.